endless frames of pain here. Looking out into the Withers Field, I'd like to now call it. Major Market Street of Silas Dean. It's William here, and at the Clusterfuck Hotel, and let me do this. To metaphorically speak, to my current condition with the detached retina, and at the same time, sit here buck naked trying to stay cool from the oppressive, unbelievable heat and humidity here in Connecticut. I've been thinking lately of Diane. She was a homeless woman, truly homeless woman, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, who I knew on the streets of Pasadena when I myself was a homeless man there. I've been thinking about her lately. When I first met Diane, blah blah blah, whatever year it was, she was fun, fresh, full of life, full of joy. Get up and go. Let's make things happen here. We're all together here on the streets of Pasadena, and we'd meet for breakfast at Starbucks at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning on Colorado Boulevard and Los Robles. I would have apple fritter as big as a head, as your head, as any head. It was huge, and it was before Starbucks, bought whatever bakery they bought today that makes crap. But this is when they deliver baked goods to the coffee house every morning, fresh and hot. And I'd have a cup of breakfast blend coffee. And we would sit and chat about the night, and you all right, you okay, is everything fine? And she had like a manservant next to her named John, so she stayed nights with him, in whatever doorway or alleyway or whatever around town. And then after breakfast, we'd part. She and John usually would go to a place called Paseo, Colorado, which was very new at the time, very chic, very beautiful. It was a mix between tenement and commercial, and it was huge. It took up blocks, city blocks. They replaced the Pasadena Mall with this grandiose apartment, condo, marketplace, movie theater, grocery store complex in the heart of Pasadena, California, along Colorado Boulevard. And so she and John would go there, usually sit in the open air plaza, under an umbrella and just, while away the time, playing, Sudoku or whatever, smoking cigarettes. And then about lunchtime, I'd go and meet them there. And the three of us would take off to, I think it was called Union Station in Pasadena. There really were no shelters per se, outside of winter shelters in Pasadena at the time. And it was kind of like a soup kitchen day thing. And we would go there for lunch and have lunch there. And then and then repeat again in the next morning. Anyways, as time went on, Diane became more and more sedentary um, at the Paseo Colorado Plaza, and she wouldn't want to go to lunch. Um, you know, um, and she would just sit there after breakfast, go there with John after breakfast, and just sit there and smoke and smoke and smoke. And pretty soon, no, I don't want to go to lunch. And pretty soon it was, I don't want to go to lunch there. I don't want to walk all the way over there. It's like, do you have any money? You can buy me something to gals in the supermarket. And of course, my answer was, no, I cannot. And then, but she had a few manservants, enablers that kind of catered to her and kept her sort of fed with food and cigarettes, which allowed her to sit and just, not do anything. So, anyways, she dropped out after, so many months or so about going to lunch with me, and usually it ended up with me and John at the, lunch line there. Anyways, time went on. Finally, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and I got an apartment, started a life, and started working on my alcoholism that simply consumed me in on the streets of Pasadena, California. So I went to work on myself and my life. Once I found a very steady, stable, trustworthy, secure apartment building, and neighbors and management, and felt very good. About a year or two after I moved to Phoenix, I returned to Pasadena, and most of the guys I knew on the street, of course, were gone. Um, but I had a sense that Diane would still be there, and sure enough, and I knew where to find her. And sure enough, there she was, sitting in the middle of the Paseo Colorado Plaza, um, and she was as big now as a table. Um, the big round table that she commanded every day, and which oddly was like filthy and dirty and grimy with grease and dirt. And I noticed the chair that she sat in, that somehow she always sat in, the chair leg had eaten into the concrete and formed a rut under her one leg. So now this woman had become a grandmother, if you will, kind of rocking chair now, in some gross, obscene sort of figure of whatever. And of course, she couldn't move. She didn't want to move. It hurt when she moved. And, so if it hurts when I move, the idea is not to move because then I won't hurt. And I could just do what I like. I could sit here and I can play, my video games because some star from Grey's Anatomy met her and was charmed by her. And she had a very charming personality. And he was so smitten by her that he bought her like a, $800, laptop computer. And she learned in time, of course, to appreciate it over Sudoku books and find the word books, and came to value it. Feeding off the Wi-Fi from businesses around her. But I've been thinking about Diane lately. To finish the story, they eventually had to pull Diane literally off the street because she could not move. She had extreme hypertension, and she couldn't walk a block of City Street anymore down Colorado. Because she was so there was so much hypertension in her that her legs couldn't carry her. So, too much smoking, too much sedentary life, too much not moving, too much stress, I guess, on her life. Though being a woman, I don't know. She had a lot of men around her that enabled her to stay on the street and, be, happy and feel secure. But yeah, finally they had to pull her off the street. And they put her in a home and up on the hill. And about a year later, I read in the Pasadena Star News, the major newspaper there, I read an article, and she was featured in it, I forget the year, but there's Diane, in this beautiful, federally funded apartment that, she doesn't have to pay a dime for. And, she has all these federal programs, covering her. And this young female reporter, I can just see it now by her side, at her elbow, just amazed at, this woman from the street, around a date. Let me take a break here and I'll tell you why I'm thinking about Diane and how I seem to be in the same position as her. And how did I get here? This I'm supposed to be aware of this stuff. How did I get here?